Hello, welcome to our Dream to Rise podcast, our sixth episode, and we have another special guest, who a lady now, and she's actually a factory working mom of three turned mission-based businesswoman, is dedicated to empowering women over 40 to create self trust and rediscover themselves after divorce using rapid reprogramming coaching. I'm just curious about what is rapid reprogramming coaching. Probably she'll give us some details about this one and we could learn from her. Again, yes, her a mother of three, and her favorite hobbies are reading and hiking. And without further ado, I would like to introduce you to our special guest, Debbie Forth Wigley. Hello, Debbie.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here. Excited to have this wonderful conversation with you and experience all the fun conversations we're going to have together.
Oh, yes. Very enlightening for sure. Most especially those who have gone through the same journey which you've had and the same uh, challenges. And I'm sure our listeners will be able to pick up so many things from you. And by the way, Debbie is used to used to uh, worked for me before, and there was a big change with Debbie. And before, she was kind of not sure of where to go, but suddenly now she's on the road towards her business, and I'm so happy for Debbie. Okay, Debbie, let us start.
Okay, wonderful.
Okay. So, you know what? In this podcast, in this Dream to Rise podcast, I always ask the guest, our guests, to share their stories, because that's how other people will be able to resonate and see themselves in your situation. So, would you like to share something about yourself that brought you to where you are right now?
Yes, Cynthia, it's been a really long journey of after being married for 25 years. My husband was in an accident at work and had a head injury, and it caused him to shift into a totally different person. He became aggressive and manipulative and just kind of abusive. And so, after 7 years of trying to do the best I could in the relationship and trying to get him the help he needed, but he refused to do, I had to make one of the most difficult, challenging decisions in my life to get a divorce. As many people who've been through divorce know, that's never what we anticipate being going through at any point after being married. You anticipate that's going to be your person forever. So when I had to make that decision, it kind of was devastating, overwhelming, and brought me kind of to my knees and having to restart my life and having to reevaluate my identity as a wife and find a new way to look at things for myself after that. So
So
it's
what
kind of where I was.
Yeah. So could you share with us some instances wherein, because she was not, I don't know if he was aware of what he's doing because of the accident.
Right.
Was he physically abusive, emotionally and
It
verbal?
was a combination of both things.
Uh-huh.
Um, Emotionally, majority of the time, until I would like stand up to him by trying to get him to understand that what he was telling me was not factual, and then he would become abusive. So it was kind of both and in a combination. So over the time, I just had to find ways to maneuver around the situation to try to lessen the amount of hinder the physical part of it. I was able to kind of work with the mental part and kind of work with him as best I could, but there was times of physical abuse as well. Yes,
Is it only to you, or how about the children?
It was primarily towards me.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see.
I took the brunt of most of it so that the kids didn't really get
That's
much of it at all. Yeah.
that's
So,
usually the case, no? The moms,
mhm,
they would just sacrifice anything for just to save the children and then
absolutely.
let
Yeah.
them suffer. And but when was that time when you told yourself that, oh my, enough is enough? When was that shift?
I think it was when um that second time he physically laid hands on me. I knew then that if I didn't leave, that it would escalate. And I needed to get myself and my kids out of that situation to create safety for them as well as myself. I knew that because he wasn't in his right state of mind, he wasn't thinking clearly, and he was doing things that were not normal in his character. He was never like that before, and he wasn't able to really distinguish between um, the thoughts and then the actions. So he would do things that were not like his normal character. So I knew that if I didn't distance myself, at least to be able to evaluate it more clearly. When you're in the situation, it's really hard to distinguish because you kind of get browbeat down emotionally to where you kind of like are in a fog and you're really not thinking clearly yourself
Mhm.
after days of no sleep or repetitive emotional behaviors that keep you kind of in a limbo, not knowing what's going to happen from one day to the next. So at that point, when he laid hands on me the last time, I just knew in my heart that something had to change. At that point, I didn't initially plan on leaving permanently. I knew that I just wanted to get myself out of that situation long enough to evaluate what I needed to do. And then when I left for a day or two and was with my parents, and I went back home, to try to check on the dog and check on him, he had changed the locks on the house. And so at that point, I just kind of felt like not only are you shutting me out of your life, you're shutting me out of my house. And I knew then and there that it was kind of like over. I couldn't do it anymore. I knew that it was it was a breaking point for me, I think, at that point where you're not only cutting me out of your life, I'm not able to get through to you, but I'm also being locked out of my own home.
Imagine you even got back and then try to visit him and check on him. And then you have discovered that, oh, I'm not wanted anymore. Then,
Basically, that's how I felt.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. So
So,
yeah.
so you moved to your parents, your mom's
Mhm.
place.
Yes.
Okay. And then was there a time wherein he would try to reconnect with you? No.
Yes. A few times he would come. In fact, I tried to leave that open enough that he could come visit the kids if he chose to. Trying to keep it open to where he could come and see us. However, because of some of the ways he believed, he would only do it on his terms. It was like, I'm only going to come see you if this, and this is in place. And a lot of the requests were really irrational. So we had to kind of work around that. But yeah, for a few months, we tried to accommodate those things. And then at that point, he just kind of stopped coming around and not really initiating any kind of contact. So
So how were the kids in terms of their relationship with their father?
it was a struggle because of some of the things they seen happen between him and I. They were not happy with the way he treated me. And so they started with I tried always not to um say anything negative about him in front of them or around them because I didn't want them to think badly of their father. I know it was not technically his fault with the head injury, him not thinking clearly. So I never tried to distance them or pit them against him or anything like that, but they could see that the behaviors he had were irrational and that they didn't feel safe around him because of those things. So because of that, it's kind of like they struggled with it for a while. I got all of us in therapy so we could all kind of work through some of the issues and kind of strengthen our bond and be able to support one another during that time, the very first initial separation and divorce, so that we had each other to keep our spirits up and
Yeah.
be able to work through the pain. But yeah, so it was rough on them, but they've come such a long way, and they're so strong and resilient and determined young people. So
Okay. So what have you done when you were, yeah, you mentioned you had your therapy and
mhm,
I'm sure with the children and individually, no?
yes.
Uh-huh. So did that help you?
Yeah,
And
initially, I went for about a year, and some of those
a
tools
year.
and skills and tactics that they taught me were very beneficial. Journaling and taking time and self care and bringing yourself back to the present moment, and all those amazing skills were there, but there was still this kind of residual thought patterns that can have, and beliefs that kind of stay there in the subconscious mind. And so I was kind of struggling with that. No matter how much therapy or things like that, it's kind of seemed like that wasn't getting to the root cause of what I was struggling with.
Mhm.
So later on, after I was out of the marriage for quite a while, maybe 2 years or so, I found out about rapid reprogramming. That's kind of the coaching that I do. So, and it gets to the root cause of the subconscious beliefs and helps you shift those beliefs. And it's amazing because you're able to get to the actual root of the pain rather than just use all the coping skills, which are amazing and beautiful and necessary, especially in the very beginning, because you're just in such a turmoil. You need those skills. But then after that time passes, if you aren't able to get to the root cause of the pain, you can continue to stay in the loops of rumination and doubting yourself and regret and anger and things that happen after a divorce. So when you can get to that root cause and use the rapid pre-programming system to help you work through the actual beliefs and shift those beliefs, it truly can give you peace and relief from the pain that you experience. I found it truly amazing for me because I was able to start seeing some of the beliefs I was carrying around with me after the traumatic experience of the loss of my husband in so many ways. And then the things I started to believe about myself, that I was a failure as a wife, that that I was unlovable because I wasn't able to fix it, and all these other things that just they weren't consciously. I didn't believe that in myself, but subconsciously, because of those beliefs, I would act in different ways that weren't beneficial to me. So when I was able to get to that root cause and start to work through those beliefs and shift those, I was able to see that, yes, I'm still lovable. I was able to give myself examples of how I was still lovable, and that I'm enough as a person, no matter whether I'm a wife or not a wife, whether I'm a mother or not a mother. And there's so many amazing women out there suffering because they've gone through a divorce, and many are not no fault of their own. It's not like I intended to have a divorce or anyone else intends to have or go through a divorce. Whether you had to choose that yourself or you had that divorce kind of thrust upon you by whoever chose, their partner chose to do the divorce. There's so many emotions and so many feelings that come up and so many thoughts that you can kind of get stuck in,
Mhm.
and being able to have an actual system and a way to work through those is is pretty amazing. So
Oh,
that's why I just really wanted to learn how it worked so that I could become a coach and help other women um, heal from the pain of divorce, the different emotions and turmoil that comes from it.
I understand. I I know that you have gone through my program as well.
Absolutely. And
And
that's about belief shifting as well. I mean,
did it help?
it did, absolutely. Yeah,
Oh,
being aware of that there is other possibilities and being able to dream a new life and set up a plan for that and take the steps and actions towards it are hugely beneficial. So yeah, I would highly recommend your program for anybody to go through as well.
oh, that's good. I'm glad that it made an impact in your life right now. And as what you have mentioned, it's usually that's the major blockage, our belief system, our thoughts, negative thoughts. But
Yeah.
what I don't know how if it's okay to ask you,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
do you think was the root cause?
Yeah, so
Uh-huh.
so the way our subconscious mind works is
No, I
throughout
mean
our whole
related to your problem.
to mine.
Yes,
Okay.
that's why you were able to move forward, move to the next
Yes.
level.
So when I was able to get to I had all these emotions, like I would have anger or resentment or pain, but under those emotions are thoughts and beliefs that you tell yourself about those things. Like, let's say you were angry because your partner got sick, or look, in my situation, I was angry because he got hurt.
Because you
And
were blaming yourself.
I was blaming myself,
Uh,
especially when the day he got hurt, I told him not to go to work because I had a feeling he needed to stay home that day. He didn't do it. Then he got hurt that day. So then I kind of blamed myself. So my subconscious believed that I was to blame for him getting hurt.
oh,
So I had that subconscious belief. But then when I was able to take and look at it, I didn't make him go to work that day. I didn't make him get hurt. And it wasn't his fault even that he got hurt. It was an accident. It's not anybody's fault that he got hurt. So when I was able to see that it wasn't my fault that he got hurt, I was able to show myself examples of that, then your subconscious mind holds beliefs in like it's like a neural pathway. It's like a little groove in a field. That path is tracked down, or it makes like a groove in your brain. If you believe something long enough, it's going to keep that path there. But when you can show your brain other possibilities, it starts to loosen that neural pathway and give it the opportunity to make new ones. So when I'm able to show my mind new possibilities, then it was able to start releasing that belief that, yes, it was my fault. When I could see that it was my mind and myself, I was able to start seeing it in a new perspective, accepting that there's other opportunities there. There's other beliefs that could be had in that situation.
And
so
I think that's the main sign. I mean, one sign of being abused, that we always blame ourselves. It was me who who did this. Who what do you call this? Who
made them do
him
it.
act? Yeah, he made him act like that way, and then I provoked him, and so on and so forth. And because we have gone through the same, and
Right.
I was also in that situation wherein I was blaming myself if I should have not, for example, mentioned this or uh, or gave him this thing, this would have
Right.
happened. This would have
Right. Yeah.
yes. Now, when you mention about this, what was the first thing that you did during the program, or in your what in to solve this root cause? What was it that really triggered you to really move forward, and made you feel that, hey, I'm now at the right path, which gave you so much peace? what was that which made you feel at ease that I believe now in myself and I have I'm moving to the right direction?
So when I think the first thing for me was when I was able to see that there's new possibilities. Like, instead of thinking of my divorce as like the end of my life, I was able to see it as a new beginning. Being able to look at it as a chance for new discovery, a chance for me to reimagine who I wanted to be, how I wanted to show up in the world, how I wanted to set examples for my kids, how I wanted to, like dream again, kind of like you did in your program, being able to imagine what I wanted my life to look like and be able to be open to the things that all these new things are possible for me. So like about a couple years after the divorce, I started making a list of all the things I didn't get to do during the marriage that I wanted to do. And I literally started doing those things to explore. So like, going hiking, and I went to a rock climbing wall. I went and did that. And I went to some cookouts with some old classmates that I hadn't seen in years. And more time with my kids. We played lots of board games and got more connected, and was able to ask them more questions and get more close with them, and take time to just really journal and find out what things I enjoyed. Because a lot of times, and this was my experience, it may not be for everybody, but a lot of times when you're in a marriage for a really long time and you spend so much time trying to make that other person happy, you just kind of lose touch with yourself and what you even like anymore, because you're so focused on making sure they're happy, especially if there's any kind of emotional abuse there. You're trying to make sure that person is happy, because when they're happy, then you don't get abused necessarily, or at least for short times, So being able to kind of be that chameleon, and kind of shift into whatever you think they need. But then after you come out of it, at first you're still lost in figuring out, okay, now that I don't have this person to just caretake for, or, take care of and keep them happy or whatever, then you're like, wait a minute, what do I even want? What do I like? What do I need? And then giving yourself that permission to just really say, what do I want? What do I need? And being able to just take the actions and start kind of picking through the things. Let's try this. Oh, I didn't like that. Oh, I'm going to try this other thing. Yeah, I like that pretty good, and be able to just kind of pick out the new things that excite you, and be able to kind of reimagine what you want your life to look like. And then when I went through my coaching program and was able to see that I could be a coach and help other people reimagine what they want their life to look like after divorce, be able to help them work through the anger and resentment and the regret and all those things, and be able to work past those feelings and not have to stay stuck there. And yeah, so, and with them to be able to find that peace and joy that I found after being able to work through my own limiting beliefs, and be able to see all the amazing possibilities for our lives. So yeah.
What I like, what you when you mentioned about you took care of yourself.
Absolutely.
You took that action of you taking care of yourself. You went hiking. You listed down what you want, what you've been wanting to do, which you've not done before, because you're always taking care of him and so on. And you went on hiking. You had some cookout with your classmates, previous classmates.
Yeah.
Now it gave you so much positive energy, no? And
absolutely.
and it improved your relationship now with your children. You have
Absolutely.
now more
Yeah.
time with your children, and now
Mhm.
connecting with new clients, with new
Yeah, and new
people,
friends,
new
making new
friends.
friends. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
supportive, amazing new friends that just encourage you to move forward and do the things they know that's going to benefit you and others is
Uh-huh.
amazing too. So
And I could see that positive aura coming from you now. Unlike before when I met you.
I was like,
You
oh my gosh. Yeah,
it seems that you're very happy now, and
I am. Yes.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud of you because on top of your coaching, you still work.
I
Uh,
do.
yes,
Yes.
it's an 8-hour job, or is it really an 8 hour or even more? No,
Sometimes more.
oh,
Yeah.
see,
So
because I know
so
you work
yeah, between
overtime.
8 and 10 hour days sometimes,
Oh,
depending on the schedule. And then I do my coaching in the evenings with my clients that so obviously working to build my business so that I can transition to doing that full time and just have that my because that's my passion, wanting to help
yeah.
others.
Now
But yeah,
I could see you well gradually doing this while you're still
mhm,
working, and by that
absolutely.
time you like to retire early. That's it. Let go of that 8 hour or 10 hour job and
Yeah,
focus on this. I
absolutely.
I'm
That's my
sure you'll
goal.
enjoy
Yes.
more. You'll enjoy more. Me, I feel I have so much joy and fulfillment just engaging with people, and
Mm,
it's different. It's really different when you're helping them, and
absolutely. Yeah.
that's now your purpose.
Then we're so everybody's constantly learning even about ourselves, and when you learn more about yourself and then you're able to help other people learn about themselves, it's so gratifying
Of
to
course.
continue to grow and be able to help other people grow and
Uh-huh.
heal from hurtful things.
Just like me, I always, because I value human connection and I value knowledge sharing, whatever
Mhm.
insights you have shared with me. Oh, I see it in a different perspective, and that's why I value uh, engaging with different people, because
Absolutely.
they are able to teach me or widen my perspective in terms of how to view things. Uh,
Yes, absolutely. And I
uh,
love the curiosity of it all. Being
yeah,
able to be curious about everything
yeah.
is kind of like that's my superpower, being curious, because I love being able to learn from everyone, and no matter whether I'm learning from my kids or
Yes.
my friends or
Mhm.
even coworkers or clients or anybody. No
Yes,
matter how much we learn, there's always more to learn.
of course. We always say the when is that last time? I know it's when you are on a underground, or you're already 6 feet
Right. When
underground,
we're
when you
16
stop
underground.
learning.
Exactly. Exactly. Or at least I hope so, because I don't want to ever stop learning. But
Of
yeah.
course. Uh-huh. So now you are, it seems that you are now focusing on your that's your goal now in terms of manifestation, your coaching business. So what
Correct.
are your current challenges right now with manifestation?
So I think that it's honestly continuing to shatter more of the limiting beliefs. No matter
Mhm.
how far you grow in your growth, like growing into doing your business, when you start out doing a specific kind of job all your life and then you have to shift into a new career or a new thing, there's always going to be limiting beliefs coming up. And so just working through more of those every day and finding the ones that are keeping me from taking the action and doing the things that I need to be doing in order to continue to grow my business. I'm sure that those are, they come up and then you work through them and then you go to the next level of discomfort or stepping outside of your comfort zone. You find new things that come up. And so there's continuing to work those things. So it's like I work my system, I work my rapid reprogramming on myself just as much as I would help my clients work on theirs, because everyone has their own different beliefs based on their their childhood experiences or the life experiences they've had. So everybody has different ones to work through.
Yes, yes. So what, may I ask, what is your goal for the next 12 months?
To grow my business.
To grow.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And then again, because it seems that you've answered my question in terms of what is the major roadblock or barrier in achieving your goal, and that is the limiting belief.
Correct. And working those, yes.
And then it is yourself that is always the issue. And you're now using the, what do you call this? The rapid
Reprogramming system. Yeah.
for you to overcome this limiting beliefs.
Yes.
Great, great, great. So I'm so happy that you are now really applying what you've learned and now making an impact on others' lives, and especially to your clients. And that's now your, I'm glad you've discovered your purpose.
Yes. Yes. And thank you, Cynthia, for helping me work on that.
I'm glad, and I'm so happy. So, what would you like to share or advise? Just a short uh, insight or advice which you could share, which you'd like to share to our listeners.
The one thing I love to share with everyone is show yourself compassion. No matter what difficult challenge you've gone through or are going through right now, just give yourself compassion. Know that everyone's gone through hard times. And even if you're in the worst pit of feeling like it's never going to get better, it really will. Just give yourself compassion in that moment. Find some things that work for you to get you past the most difficult time right now. And know that you're not alone. We've been there, and you can do this and get through this difficult time, and we'll come out the other side stronger and more capable than you ever imagined you could be.
And that's the best gift that you were able to gain from that journey.
Yes.
Becoming the best, better version of yourself, the best version of yourself.
Absolutely.
Okay. How, Debbie, by the way, how will they be able, how will they be able to reach you? How can they reach you, our
So
listeners?
I'm on Instagram, Debbie Forth Wigley. I'm on Facebook, Debbie Forth Wigley, and I also have a website. You can also find me at my website, Debbie Forth Wigley as well.
So,
.com.
.com. Okay.
Yes.
DebbieForthWigley.com. Okay. Thank you so much, Debbie. We had a wonderful time chatting, and thank you for opening up yourself to all of us. And I'm sure a lot of our listeners were able to get a lot of insights and inspiration from you. And
thank you so much for having me on here. And I hope that if just one person gets some small thing out of this conversation that we had today, that is a blessing to me and everyone else.
yes, because that will create a ripple effect.
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay, thank you so much, Debbie, again. And it's really an honor to have you here. And to our listeners, watch out for our next episode, and see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Debbie.